Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode, if I do say so myself, of Positively Trek. And welcome to the end of the year. It is the end of 2025. I think probably a lot of us not too sad to see that one in the rearview mirror, but we'll see what 2026 brings. One thing 2026 is going to bring is a lot of new Star Trek comics, but we have to get through the rest of 2025's comics first. So this is the comics episode for December 2025, and it being a comics episode with me, of course, is the companion on this illustrated journey that we take each month, Brandi Jackola. Brandi, welcome back to Positively Trek.
It is always my distinct pleasure to be here.
Excellent. Always so good to have you here. So much fun to talk about these comics each month with you, especially this month because
holy cow.
Yeah, we've got some stuff to talk about, and it's gonna be pretty go right from the start because we've got 4 comics to talk about this month, and the first one that we are talking about came out on December 3rd, right at the start of the month. Star Trek Red Shirts number 5, the finale to this mini-series, written by Christopher Cantwell with art by Megan Levins. And let me just say right now, if you are the type of listener who listens to these episodes without having yet read the comics and you do still want to read them, I would suggest for this one in particular, skip ahead. Do not listen to us talk about it without having read it. We are going to spoil the bejeebers out of this comic, and it is one that should not be spoiled if you've not read it. So please don't spoil. Really, honestly, if you haven't read it, don't listen to this. Stop now. Turn back. I promise you want to not be spoiled. Definitely. Well, we'll start, as always, with the synopsis. So, only 2 red shirts remain. The other 10 crew members on Mission Squawk Box have plummeted hundreds of feet to the ground, been eaten alive by giant alien insects, or been exploded into a million tiny bits by falling torpedoes. Each death has dealt a blow to Ensigns Rad and Miller's morale. Is Starfleet really the paragon of cooperation it claims to be? Or is it willing to expend its members' lives for the sake of peace? With both Klingons and Romulans breathing down their necks, Rad's and Miller's loyalty will be tested. Are they for Starfleet or themselves? Whew. In retrospect, that synopsis, there's some parts doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Indeed. I didn't read the synopsis. I just went right straight to the actual story. So I had no inkling of what was to come, and I'm usually good at figuring things out, you know? Like, I'll see things coming. Like Vogue, I knew that was Ash Tyler.
Oh yeah,
very early on. Just, things like that. I just tend to figure them out because I've watched too many mystery shows. This blindsided me, and I'm not upset. I'm not mad about it.
No.
I feel almost honored that they were so good that I didn't even have an inkling of what was going to go down. Wow.
Same. And we'll get to what the big twist is, of course, but once it's revealed, I actually I've read this one back with that knowledge, and everything Miller says, you can interpret a certain way. And so I'd be really interested to go back and reread the first 4 issues because they're all from his perspective, and he never once let slip what we learn by the end of this comic, right? So but it's all from his perspective, and he knows. So it feels like everything is written in just such a clever way that it doesn't give it away.
It was brilliantly done.
Yeah.
It really, really was, because there are so many ways that can be interpreted until you get to the end. And not the end, but basically the end, and you realize what's happened, and it's just, then you kind of feel foolish for a second, because we should all be better at looking at things from different points of view, but the writers are just so good.
Yeah.
They just sucked us in, and they placated us, and they gave us milk and cookies, and then just ripped away everything we thought we knew.
Beautiful. Beautiful. They reached into my chest, tore out my heart, and I love them for it.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Cantwell.
Same.
Mwah.
Chef's kisses everywhere. For anyone who had any part in this comic.
Absolutely.
Chef's kisses to you all.
Well, let's get into it. So we have Rod and Miller, as we know from that synopsis. They're the only ones left. They've been captured by the Klingons. And at the end of last issue, they were making a deal with the Romulans. So they're all arriving aboard the Romulan ship with them in tow. And I'm thinking this whole time, like, I know either one or both of them are going to get out of this somehow. And I don't know how. Like, how are they going to get out of this? And, you know, there's some gambits being played here. And I will say that absolutely blindsided by what happened. But I remember reading this and a couple times thinking the way Miller was acting was like a little weird. Like they're kind of trying to think of ways out of this, and Rod is wanting to fight, and Miller kind of keeps telling her, like, this is a losing battle. You're not gonna, you know, and I'm like, oh, that's not how he's been lately. You know, he's always gonna fight. And so I that was niggling at the back of my head, but again, nowhere near any kind of giving away what it was. I was just like, oh, he's lost his, he's given up, and he's oh, that's so sad. Never mind.
Yeah, it's interesting because I kind of thought from the beginning he had given up, but in a more personal way, because he was left behind.
Yeah,
he was left behind more than once, and I'm just like, how do you keep picking yourself up and going forward? And now I have the answer to that. And that's not the answer that I expected.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to spoil this, guys.
Yeah.
We have to.
Here it comes. Yeah. So basically the gambit that's attempted is Rod, who's the Earth's kickboxing champion, is going to challenge the Romulan commander in single combat kind of thing. And, you know, she gets the better of him and is, you know, pinning him down. And from behind, Miller grabs a Klingon disruptor and shoots Rod through the chest. And I'm not kidding. When I read this the first time, I was just like shocked. And I actually had to flip back 3 or 4 pages and reread again, because I'm just like, wait, what? And then, and then once it's explained, I was just like, this is brilliant and chilling. And like, I was kind of in a cold sweat reading the rest of the book. Yeah. Because you've spent 4 issues cheering for this guy and like, buck up there, soldier, like, come on, pull through, you're going to survive. And oh my God.
Just unbelievable. He's basically a Romulan spy now, because they were the ones who found him, took care of him, healed him. You know, when and they're supposedly the enemy, right? And so, the fact that they were the ones to take care of him and to keep him alive and to give him purpose again, you know, what does that say for Starfleet? Yeah. Because they didn't do that. They should have done that. This was their guy. This was one of their guys. The ship shouldn't have left without him. All of these things, all of these dominoes were set up at that point, and they fell just the way the Romulans wanted them to, and the way Miller wanted them to, because, frankly, he was done being a chump for Starfleet, and who can blame him at this point?
Yeah, no kidding. Like the story gives you sympathy for Miller throughout the whole story. And that,
Yeah.
I have to say, like rereading this, it doesn't evaporate once you learn what happened to him.
Nope.
It's completely understandable what happened and why he did what he did. I personally think he's also, been misguided and that kind of thing. But like,
Yeah.
Starfleet's brought this on themselves a little bit. Sorry to say. He's working for a fascist government now, but, they treated him well.
Mm-hmm. They healed him. They kept him alive. They did everything that Starfleet should have and didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And, at what point do you realize that you're just being used by your superiors and that nobody cares about you?
Yeah.
At least the Romulans care about him in what way they can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a lot of the little plot threads are kind of tied up neatly as well, because the Romulans have traded this intelligence to the Klingons in exchange for, their operative, it turns out. But once they turn that data over to them, they blow up the Klingon ship. So the Klingons aren't going to have the specifications for the Constitution class after all, and all that stuff.
I saw that one coming.
Yeah, for sure. These Klingons aren't the brightest bunch here, unfortunately. Romulans are they're always scheming.
Your scheme was very fraught. Sorry,
that's what I was trying to remember. I was like,
your schemes are barely plots.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. And the schemes continue because Miller was the only one to survive this, again, in circumstances that I didn't anticipate how this would work out. But he's left alone on the planet by the Romulans with a homing beacon that Starfleet will come and pick him up, and he will continue on in their service as a spy. And of course, the ship that picks them up is the good ship Enterprise with Kirk, Spock, and Bones picking up Miller. And his last line to Kirk, when he asks the other security officers, ensign, how did they die? And he said, they died heroes, sir. That just speaks volumes right there. Like how jaded he has become with Starfleet, rightfully so. And you can just, the close-up on his eyes when he says they died heroes. He's got that like 1,000-yard stare that like he does not believe the words he's saying. He's just saying what needs to be said to continue doing what he's been doing.
Yeah, well, obviously he doesn't really get anything from the Enterprise, because otherwise we would have that story. Otherwise the Enterprise might not still be around.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is I sympathize with him. I can't blame him for his feelings at all, because Starfleet is supposed to be upholding these particular principles, and they only seem to hold them up when someone's watching, and not when people aren't watching. And that's how Miller ends up so jaded, because he's been a sacrificial lamb too many times.
Absolutely. So you said an interesting thing, which was we know there's not a further story with him in the Enterprise here, kind of thing. I could foresee a lot of things, like, he's not assigned to the Enterprise. Maybe they drop him off at a starbase. He goes through some rehab, gets assigned to another team to do something else. Would you be interested in the further adventures of Ensign Miller now that we know he's a Romulan double agent?
Yes.
Good, because me too.
Yes, give me that. That would be so interesting. That's
right?
Just, that's the other side of the coin, and we don't get to see that very often.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I would read that.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how that story would be framed with that foreknowledge now. Like, would he still be the hero of the story? Would that be something that would be, I don't know, would IDW want to risk doing that? Like, that would be really interesting. I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
Well, see, that's the thing. He's not a hero. He's just a guy trying to survive.
Yeah.
And sometimes...
And I guess hero, I mean protagonist kind of thing. Like,
protagonist. But he doesn't... I like seeing things about the little guys.
Yeah.
Which is why I love Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Both Lower Decks, the episode, and Lower Decks, the series. I like those things because with the other series, it's always the best of the best of the best. Mm-hmm. And that's great. That's great. But I find the people who are doing the grunt work usually have better stories to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. This kind of reminds me, it just occurred to me, I think, and I might get this wrong, there's a series of novels, a trilogy, and it might have been Errand of Vengeance or something like that, where it kind of takes place during the original series, and while the episodes we know are happening, and there's this kind of whole Cold War with the Klingons happening in the background. And in those books, it does reveal that there are like crew members who are surgically altered Klingons who are working on the Enterprise. And spoilers if you haven't read those books or anything like that. But like in one book, I distinctly remember that in the episode, What Are Little Girls Made Of? The ensign that the big android Ruck takes and throws down the pit was a Klingon. And that's how his spy mission ended. He just was killed. Yeah, it was like, oh, damn.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
So I was like, wait, that's kind of the little similarities there. It was interesting.
Fascinating. I had no idea.
Yeah, but I know there's a couple different trilogies, and Errand of Vengeance is one of them. I don't know if that's the right one, but yeah, oh man, I'll always remember that. Like, I can never watch that episode the same way again.
Well, now I've got to go back and rewatch it myself. It's been a minute.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, final thoughts on Star Trek Red Shirts number 5. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts. I don't know. What are your final thoughts? So
many thoughts that they jumble together and just come out in a soup of letters. I was impressed by this series from the start. I didn't know exactly what to expect from it, and when we got the first issue, I was like, oh, this is the tone we're taking. Okay, I'm on board with this. Because they're treating it very seriously, and everybody's like, oh, red shirts are going to just watch idiots getting killed. And I'm like, no, actually, that's not what this is. It's a very well-crafted story. It's good at getting you to feel sympathy for the characters. Especially, I mean, even the characters you don't necessarily like very much. Like Cromartie, you're a dick. But that doesn't mean he deserved to die. But I wasn't sure what it was building toward, and that was okay. I didn't need to know everything. I was enjoying the journey. If you can say enjoying, it's just such... I mean,
yeah, I get it.
It's just so different than anything that has been done in Star Trek comics, I think. So... basically every time a new issue came out, I was like, okay, what's going to happen now? I gotta know. And it'd be the first comic I read from, because I get everything put on hold when it comes to Star Trek. And then they save it for me. And then I pick it up. And then I read all of the Star Trek stuff first. So honestly, the way that they have done this was so smart that I can't possibly be angry at how well they fooled me. Yeah. I can't. Because they it was perfection. And just every single issue, I appreciated actually that they didn't shy away from the grisly remains of a lot of these people, because frankly, this stuff is happening in Starfleet. It's happening, and they just never show it. But, they're showing it now. And I think that series like Discovery kind of heralded that. They changed the game. They did something different. They made things more adult, I guess is the best word for it. Yeah. So, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate this for the story that it told, because it's a story that should be told. It's a story that needs to be told, because the good guys don't always win, but how do you know who's a good guy anymore?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing. And it's just, this blew my mind. Chef's kiss is all the way. 5 stars of, the brightest shiny tinsel you can find, brighter than Christmas trees. Just all of the things, all the accolades I could possibly heap upon this. This, to me, was a perfect series. Nice.
I don't have a lot to add to that, because that echoes a lot of what I thought. I sincerely, and I mean, I'm going to use the word, I enjoyed reading these. Like, they were gory, they were dark, but just so well done, so well told. And you can tell the writer and the artist and the colorist, and they're all just loving bringing this to life. Like the little nice, the nice little Star Trek references that make it obvious that Christopher Cantwell's a huge fan of Star Trek. I mean, we knew that, but like, this was just fits so perfectly in that universe, even though, like you said, it's like nothing we've seen before from that universe. It still is of Star Trek and just oozes Star Trekiness, but in a way that we've never seen before, telling a story we've never heard before. Mostly, like, every single character is someone we've never seen before, but I was absolutely enthralled by it. And against my better judgment, in retrospect, over five issues, I fell in love with Ensign Miller, and I'm really rooting for this guy. And oh my God, that they're able to pull that off. And oh, wow. That was brilliant. Absolute, toppest of top marks for this. I don't even know what to well, I don't know. Perfect. 5 out of 5 embedded Romulan spies, I guess.
Yeah, it's there's perfect, and then there's red shirts. And red shirts is always going to be a cut above what perfection is. It just, how can it be beyond perfection? I don't know, but it is. It's how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, from there, let's go on to December 10th, at which time 2 comics came out. The first one we're going to talk about is Star Trek Lower Decks number 14, written by Tim Sheridan with art by Vernon Smith. So in this issue, the Cerritos away team begin their investigation on Lapunia to find out what happened to the Lapirians. Don't get Lapuria and Lapunia twisted, it's not that hard. Despite their best efforts, and much to Tendy's chagrin, everyone on the crew except T'Lyn manages to offend the Lapunians before they can get any answers. How will the Cerritos ever make second contact with the Lapirians if they can't even get their first contact with the Lapunians right? So this is continuing the story, and unlike previous Lower Decks storylines, I've read that this will be I think a 6-part story. So this is going to be quite a more involved story than we've seen previously in this series. So this does not get resolved in this issue. This is just a continuation of the story from last week. We do start out with a last time in Star Trek Lower Decks, and a typical, little bits from the last issue, but also randomly Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, with the woman that Dr. McCoy gives the pill to, and she's, the doctor gave me a pill and I grew a new kidney. But not only that,
fully functional.
Fully functional. But not only that, we get another like little bonus thing. She's up to 19 kidneys and counting. We have to operate now. She's going, kidneys for everybody. Whee! So she's a kidney slot machine, and she's paying off.
And all it took was just one little pill from the future.
Apparently, yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of glad the comics aren't canon. The fact that she's bubbling up with 19 kidneys is a little disconcerting. Yeah. I have to think McCoy didn't intend that.
Oh, absolutely not. And that I'm sure that, I thought it was just a joke. We know that wouldn't have really happened because 22nd century or 23rd century? Anyway, the future medicine is much more refined. So
yeah.
I just took it for the joke that it was. Didn't take it seriously.
No. Me too. I kind of love it. That's great. But the biggest takeaway, of course, is that at the end of the last episode, they went down to Laperia and they were all gone. The entire planet was abandoned. So that's where we pick up in this issue. And typical Lower Decks fashion, we've got some running jokes going through the issue, which your mileage may vary on how much you enjoy these. Ta'ana's fake Laperian calendar that everybody keeps referring to. I don't know. It kind of tickled me. I thought that was kind of, I don't know, a little amusing when Mariner says, Dr. Ta'ana made up all that Laperian calendar crap, right, Boims? And Boimler says, please, Mariner, I've known for over a blork. I know, I enjoyed it. It was kind of dumb, but I liked it.
It was kind of dumb. It wasn't terrible, though. It did make me giggle.
So the other thing that's going on, which is interesting and isn't a joke, and this kind of annoyed me a little bit until we get to the end and there's a little bit more of an explanation. Tendi has this weird jealousy thing going on with T'Lyn throughout this issue. And I was like, we've never seen this before. This is kind of weird. And I was honestly, it was kind of getting to me a little bit. How did you feel about that? I
felt it was out of character.
That's how
that we've already seen her competing with T'Lyn.
That's true too, yeah.
And I'm just like, are we just retreading this? Why are we doing this? Was what was going on in my head.
Yeah. I do say, for me, it kind of redeemed itself at the end when they did the psychological mumbo jumbo bit that, she was having unresolved feelings about her sister and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's at least a little clever. They kind of at least gave a reason for it and had her realize why she had done it and grow that way a little bit. But I don't know. It seemed weird. It ultimately made me wonder why they did it, because it wasn't funny in particular, but the callback to her sister I kind of liked. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, so where in the timeline could this fit?
Oh,
because she's pretty solid with her sister as of the end of the Lower Decks series. So, and it to me, it just felt like backsliding.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
That's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And like I said, for most of the issue, it was bugging me. So you're not far off from how I felt too. And the other thing that's going on and kind of something that's fueling this whole jealousy thing is the Lapunians apparently revere Vulcans and their logic and end up kind of fawning over T'Lyn and admiring everything about her, which again, the joke was funny at the start and then it was just it just kind of kept going.
Yeah, it's like you get 3. This is the rule of improv. You get 3. 1, you make the first reference, okay. Second reference, yep, get a laugh. Third reference, diminishing returns. There you stop. And they just didn't stop. They just kept pressing it, and it just didn't work for me in any way. And in fact, from that point on, I kind of didn't laugh at anything else in the comic.
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier that this storyline is going to be 6 issues long as opposed to their usual 2. And I'm sort of noticing a little bit of a pattern here where like there's this whole mystery of the missing Leperians, which is what we're told this whole story was about at the start of last issue, like with the little blurb. But it's not until the final page that they're like, they're all gone. To be continued. And it's like, that was the only bit of the story that's actually from the blurb. And this one, the story doesn't really move forward again until the very end when, this mysterious big spaceship shows up and starts shooting at the Cerritos. And it's like, okay. Now we're getting some forward plot movement on this story finally, not just treading water with these Lapunians who are fawning over to Lynn and, stalling everything. And then it's to be continued again. So.
Yeah. The way I felt about this issue, I was disappointed for one thing, because I have been enjoying Lower Decks for the most part. And it just felt like a lot of filler and no meat.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Like, really kind of, it would be different if the jokes were all really funny too. Like, and they've done this before where they kind of treaded water with the plot and drew it out just to be able to tell a whole bunch of jokes. And when they're funny, that's fine. But these aren't really landing that much this month, and the story is not really advancing. We've also got this thing where Boimler wants to be Ransom's number one on the away team. But for some reason, Ransom seems really annoyed with Boimler, which I've never known that before. Like, he's always been like, I like that ensign.
Yeah. Basically just acting out of character again. And I don't like it. It's like, have you guys watched Lower Decks? You must have. What are you doing?
Yeah, so it just, nothing's really landing all that much for me. And the plot is just agonizingly slow in advancing
it's almost non-existent.
Yeah, exactly. So sounds like this was a bit of a miss this month. I guess final thoughts on Star Trek Lower Decks number 14 and a rating.
I would this is gonna be harsh.
Oh,
Buckle
boy.
in, folks, especially knowing what you know about me, Dan. I would rather watch another Lower Decks episode with Peanut Hamper as the main character than I would read this particular part of the story again. It just fell completely flat for me.
Wow. That's that's an indictment. Absolutely.
It's just, what happened? It's like from the last issue to this issue, complete tone change, complete change. It's like they've all been replaced by androids or something. It's just weird. It just doesn't feel right at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I felt as strongly as you about this issue, but it did end up being like, while I was reading it, I was like, I'm kind of not really laughing, not really engaging with the material, kind of annoyed with how Tendy's acting, kind of annoyed with how Ransom's acting, kind of annoyed with how Boimler's acting. And then at the end, like I said, the little bit of psychological stuff, the sister stuff, I'm like, okay, there's some thought went into that at least, but the other stuff remains unresolved. And it wasn't for me. I didn't particularly enjoy this issue. I'd give it a plot that's advancing as slow as molasses in February, if we want to go with some tried and true cliches. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I give it a peanut hamper.
Oof. That's brutal. Well, with that, we will take a quick break, and when we come back, we have 2 more comics that came out in December that we will get to. As always, Positively Trek is brought to you by its Patreon supporters, including Joyce Mirren, Brandi Jackola, Christina DeClercq-Zalagi, John Guppy, Out of Memory, Patrick Carlin, and Ricky Long. If you'd like to support the podcast, visit patreon.com/positivelytrek. You can join at any level and enjoy early access to episodes, ad-free episodes, episode shoutouts, executive producer credits, and more. Again, that's patreon.com/positivelytrek. Thank you so much to those of you supporting us. We truly do appreciate it. And now, back to the show. So also out on December 10th was the 4th issue in the miniseries Star Trek Strange New Worlds, The Seeds of Salvation, written by Robbie Thompson with art by Serge Acuna. The seed has taken hold, body, mind, and soul. Now under its control, Una and Jennair have become relentless drones, driven by vengeance. As Chapel struggles to untangle the lies binding them together, La'an, Spock, Scotty, and D6 fight to reconnect with the Enterprise. But first they must survive the crushing abyss and a colossal sentient squid guarding the way to the surface. Aboard the Enterprise, Uhura intercepts a strange signal pulsing from Poilant's surface, faint, fragmented, and impossible to trace. But Ortega spots something else, a glowing red light spreading across the terrain, its shape disturbingly familiar. Is it a ship or something far more dangerous? Dun, 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 dun. So, The Seeds of Salvation is a mini-series that listeners to previous episodes will know has kind of vexed both Brandi and I over its run. And I'm very curious about your thoughts about this issue. We've got a little bit of more of the same. We've got Chapel facing off against Una, who's been commandeered by the seed. We've got the Enterprise facing these drones in orbit that are attacking them. And we've got Spock, Scotty, and D6 and that group in the sub dealing with this big tentacled squid thing. I guess what are kind of your opening thoughts on this issue?
Well, I was glad to get some good D6 lines this
yes.
go. Because there's the moment where someone has got to step outside and investigate, and D6 immediately says, "Not it."
I laughed out loud at that moment, which interestingly enough gave it more laughs than the Lower Decks issue did. So
exactly. And also, it was a pleasure knowing you, Half Vulcan. Also,
yes.
So yeah, I was glad to see that D6 got some more time up in there, because he just didn't have much to do or say in the last couple of issues, which kind of bums me out. But he had some strong one-liners this go around, and that made me happy.
Yeah.
So, and for once in this issue, Spock was not acting out of character. So
yes.
That was very exciting as well. It's like suddenly they realized who they were writing for.
You've hit two of the points that I made in my notes already.
Yeah.
Keep going. Let's see how we do.
Yeah. I still don't care about the seed. I just don't. But finding out that these I got to get my glasses, actually, because I can't read my notes without my glasses. Because that's, I can't see far, I can't see near, I can only stare into the middle distance. All right. So, I love that Spock mind melds with the floating blobby orb. Good times. And we get a little story about how the Arkans are the ones who brought the seed. They built the prison, blah, blah, blah. Before that, this place was balanced with nature. You would never know it to look at it at this point. So that was finally some information.
Yeah.
And
there's point 3 that I had in my notes.
Yeah. And there's the personal thing. This is completely off on a tangent, but when the seed says, "Join us or die," I started laughing. And the reason why I started laughing is because my favorite stand-up comedian, Susie Izzard, has this bit about colonization. You either join us or you die. Well, I don't want to die. Then you join us. Well, I'd rather not. Well, then you die. Oh. Just back and forth and just flummoxing the invaders. And that's the first thing that came to my mind. And I sat there and laughed for 5 minutes before I could go on with the issue. It was just one of those things that tickled me.
Maybe an unintentional enjoyment at that bit, but at this point we'll take it. Like, that's cool. Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, if it reminds me of a Susie Izzard bit, hey, more power to you. So, I do love that the actual Poilants are now talking. They're now telling the story. But this is all just going horribly wrong. And they're saying, they ask for help before it's too late. Well, what's too late? What is too late? There's still just a lot of missing information. And this is issue 4, and we are still in the dark for the most part. And I don't care for that. Yeah. I feel like we should have gotten more. And, like I said, I'm bored with the seed. Mm-hmm. But at least Non is sort of still in control of herself. So there's that. Lon, excuse me. Not Non, the security officer that came to the Enterprise, or Discovery, rather, in season 2 of Discovery. Sorry about that, folks.
From the Enterprise.
Yes, from the Enterprise. Sometimes Brandi's brain doesn't work right.
It's all good. It's funny how many points that I made in my notes that you kind of hit here. I finished this issue and I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, the thing with the seed, I'm still kind of a little bit blah on. However, I really liked the humor in this with D6. He had some good lines, like you said. There were no egregious moments where people were acting out of character, Spock and everyone else included, I would say. There's some good action on board the Enterprise, actually. I actually kind of enjoyed that, the working solutions to kind of get around things and sciencing their way out of stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then we've got the stuff with Spock and the group in the sub. Spock floating up to mind meld with a giant creature. Like, that's core Star Trek. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And then, like, all 3 of those parts of the stories were really well balanced in this issue. Like, this is going to sound like damning with faint praise, and I don't mean it to, honestly. But, like, I think the bar in my head was lowered a little bit because I hadn't really been enjoying this issue, these issues. But this one genuinely came together to be like, the issue in and of itself is a good issue, I think. I enjoyed it, and I was genuinely surprised by how much I enjoyed it. And even though the actual, like, to be continued moment is yet again this kind of same shot of, Una or whoever wrapped up in vines threatening somebody, it's kind of paired with this, like, big crystalline thing that emerges and then comes apart, and there's like this huge ship or something, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, there's some kind of cool stuff happening, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually kind of curious what's going to come next with that, and that hasn't happened with this series yet. So credit where credit is due. I enjoyed this issue.
I did too, and my only complaint again is it felt short. It felt too short. Every single one of these issues has felt short. It's like they're using, full page, like every other page. And so we get kind of less story because of that. Yeah. And there was a moment where I'm like, who is this guy? Oh, wait, that's Scotty. Right. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't look a thing like him. not a thing. but those things aside, this was the first time I was truly interested in what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And again, I think they made a good move. Like they haven't changed the style necessarily of the characters, which is kind of an issue we've had with these issues. But they did change the artist last issue. And I think that was a good move because like there were actually a few things that I liked art wise in the last issue as far as how things were laid out. And this issue, again, there's some really memorable moments, like really well captured action. I think the one point where Chapel whacks, and it's a full page again, like you said, it's using up a lot of real estate, but it's a really striking visual. I like Spock rising up from the sub towards and then of course, just being kind of a mote in the eye of this huge squid. And it's like, there's some pretty cool visual moments. So fair play.
Agree.
Good job.
Yeah, agree completely.
Awesome. Well, I'll give my final thoughts, I guess, just to sum up. I enjoyed this issue. I thought it was really good. And if I'm going to give it a rating, I will give it, where's Insignia is still wrong. That's annoying, but putting it aside, I'm going to give it one big crystalline ship coming up out of the water and surprising me with, how much, that actually impacted me.
Excellent. This was the first time I enjoyed an issue from this series and felt like everybody was in character. And basically all the same things. You said really interesting visuals, still using up a lot of real estate, like you said. So I would give it one big, I don't want to die. Then you join us. Well, I'd rather not. Then you die. Oh, I don't want to die.
Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah. It's a good rating. I like that. I will say this is the one, weirdly enough, after I'd read all of the issues, this was the one I was looking forward to talking about with you the most because it was the most surprising to me.
Agree.
Honestly. Well, from there, let's go to the final comic that was released in December. December 17th saw the release of Star Trek: The Last Starship number 3, written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, with art by Adrian Banilla. And I've got the synopsis here. The USS Omega launches into battle. Its adversary, a chaotic Klingon cult whose blood-red path is focused purely on obliterating the remaining vestiges of Starfleet. What's left of the Federation is falling apart by the moment. Captain Sato, who once dreamed of uniting the galaxy, is now living his worst nightmare. He was raised in a time of peace, but no progress comes without a fight. While the Klingons might be his enemies after centuries of peace, he has Kirk as his ally, and no one knows how to defeat a Klingon better than the Federation's greatest hero.
Is he, though?
I wonder if that might be what this whole series is about.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
So before we get started, this was the issue that had the alternate cover that I had to get my hands on, with Kirk standing in a turbo lift, kind of looking annoyed, flanked on all sides by like 6 or 7 Klingon Starfleet officers. And he's just like, and they're all just like towering, just like staring forward because they're just dutiful Starfleet officers going about their business. But Kirk's like, I love that cover. It's so good.
Yeah. Good thing bringing, regenerating him into life kept all his prejudices intact.
Yeah. You need that that particular je ne sais quoi of a soupçon of Kirk. All the good and bad bits, I guess.
Yes. Fair and balanced.
Oh, no.
No. Well, that's the thing. It's like we're all made up of good things and bad things. There isn't anyone who's 100% one or the other.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I think this is an interesting statement too, that this is a time where, and we talked about this a lot with the last issue, that the last time a Federation, or last time there was a weapon fired, between two ships was like 30 years ago or something like that. So it's not in the recent memory, certainly, of anybody who's currently in Starfleet, really. But Kirk, of course, brings what to this time period must have been just like the most chaotic time of like, it seemed like every week that ship was getting into some kind of shenanigans back in the 23rd century. That must be wild.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. So yeah, we're starting to see why it is that Jurati has brought Kirk back into existence at this time. Resurrected, yeah.
Not quite the right word. There's a word that I'm trying to think of, and I can't because my brain just says no. But there's a word for it, a better word for it, and I just can't find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're starting to see where, okay, this will come in useful a little bit. He kind of, the bridge is exploding around him, and he's kind of the eye of the hurricane that's bringing everything together and falling into very familiar patterns. Like, he's been in this situation a lot. It makes sense that this is where his strengths would come in handy here for sure. I love that Agnes Jurati is the engineer as a Borg. Mm-hmm. That's so cool.
She's fantastic. Give me more Agnes.
Yes.
Give me more Agnes, Borg Queen. I don't care. Just give me Agnes. I don't care what form she's in. Just give her to me, please, because we did not get enough of her in Picard.
Yeah.
And they did her dirty. And I'll say it every time. They did
Absolutely. Her dirty. 100%. So we have some interesting things in this episode, or in this issue, I should say. The first officer, Wowie, is fighting Klingons on the hull, is kind of what they're up to in this issue. We've also got just this whole Klingon fleet and their attack and all of this madness and chaos. I guess that's most of the issue, is just the fighting and kind of getting through this. But where it ultimately leads, I think, is interesting. And we get a little piece of the puzzle to how the Federation is and how the galaxy is when we catch up to it again in Discovery about 100 years later, right? So this Klingon fleet, basically they dump their warp cores all over Earth. Yeah, it doesn't end well for Earth, let's just say.
Yeah. That was horrifying.
Good. That was absolutely horrifying. But by the end of the issue, when Earth secedes from the Federation, you kind of get it.
Oh, you totally get it. I was just, honestly, I would have been surprised if they hadn't. Because, of course, they're going to declare independence. There's no one coming to help them.
Yeah.
They can only help themselves. So, yeah, declare independence. Don't have any particular alliances.
Yeah, and it's tragic, and you can see like how the Earth turned so insular, because I didn't really question it in Discovery. It was just like, okay, this has fallen apart, but it wasn't a gradual thing. It was like, oh wow, when it all came apart, it all came apart. And that's quite the moment for sure. The other big thing, of course, is the fight between Captain Sato and the Klingon, which I thought was interesting, especially in how it is resolved. What are your thoughts on this? I'm not sure how I feel about how this all went down.
I'm not sure how I feel about it either. Mm-hmm. It's, I just don't know. I'm gonna put on my glasses again so I can look at so, yeah. That was, I just don't know. What I wrote down was, didn't see that coming, the giant batleth.
Yeah, what
the hell? What was that, and why?
Batleth, maximum scale. And I guess it's just like programmable matter, right? Like, and
fair. Fair.
I guess.
Yes.
So, They can just do that? Like,
Yeah, apparently they can. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, was this particular battle end the work of a 5-year-old? Because that's, nuh-uh, I've got maximum bat you lose. That's kind of what it felt like to me.
yeah, and he just skewers this Klingon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess he won. Yeah, I don't know. I was a little cooler on this issue than I have been in the previous issues. And the other kind of WTF moment is
the biggest one for me.
Okay. I think we're on the same page, which is the final page. Which is, Girardi and Kirk talking, and then she just starts making out with him.
Yep. Damn, even the Borg want Kirk.
Yeah. Well, like you said in a previous issue, get it, girl.
Hey, if you can get it.
I guess so.
Yeah, I just don't understand why.
Yeah.
Is she just really lonely? I just don't know. Was there an ulterior motive there? Is she sending nanoprobes into him? I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I will say, I generally have a lot of faith in this writing team of Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, and I feel like there's a reason for this. It's going to be
I think so too.
Next issue or the issue after, at some point, we're going to be like, oh, I think.
I don't think she's kissing him just because she wants to get some.
No, yeah, I don't think so. There's something going on here. The thing is, I'm finding that reading this issue, a lot of what I'm thinking is there's something going on here. I'm just not exactly 100% sure what it is. Which
Agree.
Maybe is just a shortcoming on my part, but...
Nope. Disagree. Because I'm having the same problem, and we can't both be having the same problem and not be right.
Scientifically impossible.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm still enjoying this series for sure, and I'm really curious to see where it goes from here. It's the one series that I'm making sure to buy the alternate cover issue for, and I kind of want it in a collection and stuff. So I'm digging it for sure. And I think when it gets deep into stuff, it does it well. So I'm excited to spend more time with these characters and learn more about them, because the little bits we get are always really compelling, right? I want to learn a lot more about Wowie and I mean, even Agnes and what's going on with her and stuff, right? So yeah, I don't know. And the doctor, the Ferengi doctor, whenever they show him, I'm like, oh man, I want to know more about him. I want to dig into this depression he has and what's going to come of that and stuff. And even Kirk, how's he responding to all of this? And it's interesting.
So far, in a pretty Kirk way.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect nothing less.
Exactly.
Well, do you have any more thoughts, final thoughts, rating, anything you'd like to share about issue 3 of The Last Starship?
I did not expect the things that happened in there. Just okay. So that actually isn't necessarily a detriment, but it was kind of weird. The whole giant bat'leth thing's kind of weird. Not sure I'm on board with that. The female Klingon that was leading all this group, Hachette, she was off her rocker. The Black Mind? What is the what? That sounds terrible. Why are you doing that? Basically the final sentence that I wrote was, why is Agnes kissing Kirk? But I'm still invested in this series, and it was interesting how quickly Sato was going to give command to Kirk, because he knows he can't get them out of this. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take someone with a different mindset. And so that's what he does. And he's successful. Not in time to save Earth from having a bunch of warp cores dropped on it, but it could have gone worse, I guess. But I want to know more. I'm invested. I want to know more, and I'll be looking forward to the next episode. See, look, you've got me doing it. The next episode. I'm going to call it the next episode. But yeah, as if I'm going to give it a rating, I'm going to give it 1 Mechleth Gambit.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Interestingly enough, when I edit these episodes, the number of times that I catch myself and not having noticed it saying episode or whatever throughout, and I'm just like, for crying out loud. So for those of you listening, if you've caught me a few times doing that, yeah, I know I do. Okay.
Yeah, we all do. They are episodes. They're just in print form.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm still really, I'm really enjoying this series. The visuals are so striking. That shot of the whole Earth as all the detonations are happening is just mind blowing. The visuals are even when I'm not sure exactly why things are happening or what's happening, I'm still really compelled by the visuals. And the storytelling generally, I think is maybe escaping me a little bit in some areas, but I have faith that it'll kind of come together because, that's been my experience with these writers. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to give it, I've just got a Batleth maximum scale. That's what I'm giving this.
Mechless and Batless for this one, yes.
There you go. Well, to close out this month, we should talk about which comic, and I think we know the answer to this one. I don't know that I even have to ask it. Which of these 4 issues was your favorite this month, Brandi?
You know it's Red Shirts, man.
Red Shirts number 5. Hell yeah.
You know it is. Oh my God. Just wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Enough said. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That was so good. Well, that is it for 2025, both for comics and for this podcast. And we'll be back in 2026 with regular episodes, as well as, of course, each month's comics as they come out. January, I think, has another 4 comics coming out that month. So in January, we have Star Trek Voyager Homecoming number 4. We get back to that series. Then we have Star Trek Lower Decks number 15. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, The Seeds of Salvation number 5, wrapping up that miniseries, I believe. And then Star Trek The Last Starship number 4. So, yeah, with Red Shirts done, there's no more Red Shirts, and we're back to just those 4 issues for next month. So really looking forward to that. We'll be reading comics by the fire to keep warm in January, and we hope you'll all join us to talk about those as well. So Brandi, what have you got going on in the world of podcasting? I'm way behind on Shield Podulation. I have been sick the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm so far behind on all my podcasts, and it makes me sad. I mean, happy for you, but sad for me every time a new episode drops. And I'm like, oh, I'm like 3 episodes before that one. I can't get to it yet.
Well, the beauty of it is it's a random podcast, so it doesn't matter what order you listen to them.
That's true. Oh, I got to hear them all, though. If I skip one, there's no guarantee I'll go back. I gotta listen to them all. They're like
that's
Pokemon.
Fair. Yeah, we're gonna have way more episodes than Pokemon by the time we get done with this. Many years down the road.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, and the most recent episode that we did was actually Broken Bow, season 1 of Enterprise, series premiere. And it was interesting watching it again, especially with my husband, because he is not the biggest fan of Enterprise or Archer or Malcolm. Yeah. So yeah, that as of this recording is already out, and we're not taking Christmas week off. We're going to go ahead and do another episode on Saturday because it's fun and it is easy for us. because we don't edit. It's really,
Nice.
honestly, you got to try it, guys. It's so great to just not care about editing. So we have a really good time, and I think we had a really good discussion about Broken Bow, because I think it was Dave's first time in a very long time that he'd seen the whole thing, and because it was smushed together as it was originally done, which was like an hour and a half long, so it was like feature length, but yeah. So we'll just we'll keep doing that. In fact, we have another Enterprise episode coming up for this week because random rolls, and it's a season 3 one. So that's going to be interesting going back to season 3.
Arc. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that's quite the season. It's got a lot of hard stuff in it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, that's mostly what I'm doing right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this week. We really appreciate it. Have a happy new year if you're listening to this in 2025. And I hope you had a great new year if you're listening to this in 2026, which is probably more likely. So thank you all so much for tuning in. If you couldn't tell, I've been a bit sick. That's why if you're watching this on YouTube, you probably noticed there haven't been a lot of videos on the channel lately. I have not been well, but hopefully that will change soon, and stay positive. Positively Trek is produced and edited by me, Dan Gunther, and co-produced by Barry DeFord on Treaty 8 territory, the home of the Beaver, Cree, Dene, and Métis people, whose histories, languages, and cultures we respect. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations.